that is this year's enrollment period. It has not been the same yet. So last year it was October 1st or something. They said they were going to mirror Medicare. They didn't quite do that, but I'm glad they didn't. I didn't want it to be the exact same time. That would really just be
overloading the schedule.
Chaotic mess. I don't mind being able to have at least a couple of weeks or a month of Medicare to kind of get out there, and you can still help your Affordable Care Act clients. A lot of the Affordable Care Act, especially if it's clients you already have and you're just renewing them, you can do over the phone, which is nice. So if you're just renewing clients, making sure it's the right plan, and especially because I do know, just from experience so far, Consumer's Choice next year is averaging about an 18% increase in all their plans. So they may not be the best one. I know Blue Cross is less than 10%. And I know because you can actually look that up through healthcare.gov. It's actually data they have to put on there. It's hard to go find, but you can actually look it up, and you can go by company and by state and find out what their increase is going to be for next year.
So Blue Cross is only a 10% increase?
It's going to be somewhere less than 10%. They don't have to tell you exactly how much it is. Once they're, all they got to tell is you're over 10%, you got to tell exactly what it is. If it's under 10%, it just says under 10%. So the government has certain rules on what they have to tell. So what this tells me is Blue Cross right now this year was about 20% higher than Consumer's Choice. Last year they were about 50% higher than Consumer's Choice. So they've come down a lot, and now it's probably going to come back closer together. So Blue Cross is going to be somewhere within about 10% of Consumer's Choice, is what I kind of take from this. Again, I haven't seen numbers. They hide the numbers until it's ready to go. But you get them about a week before it's ready to go, that's about it. So I'm guessing, and Coventry usually was in between Consumer's Choice and Blue Cross, so they're kind of in there together. It really is all about the networks. Those are the biggest things. I was told that United Healthcare is only going to be in a few counties, and again, I don't know the counties, so I don't know how true that is. A lot of times I hear say things and then it comes to be different. I mean, Assurant Health last year, I went to their training and they were just touting their plans, how great they were going to be. They were using the Cigna network. It was the biggest network in the country. It was awesome. It was great, except for they averaged about 3 times as much as anybody on the exchange. So you had a plan for Consumer's Choice that cost you $300 a month. On Assurant Health is like $1,000. I'm like, well, it can be the best thing in the world, but somebody can't afford it, it's not going to work out. So, and I'm guessing that's kind of what happened with it. I'm guessing the actuarials figured out they couldn't afford it, which is why they're coming out of the health insurance business, I'm guessing. But I do know they are done doing business, unfortunately. But that is ACA. I don't want to get too far into it because we're going to be doing Affordable Care Act training here shortly. We're also going to bring in the portal to talk about the portal, how to do that. There are some things that I've learned from last year's mistakes. There are some things that they've done with eligibilities, people's coverages, that if you don't turn in your paperwork of what you need to turn in, if they're asking for income verifications and you don't return it back to them, they will take away your tax credits in a heartbeat. And so we learned this year that a lot of people that lost coverage or lost their tax credits, and it's a pain in the butt. We got a new way of doing training this year, so we make sure it doesn't happen. So we unfortunately learn from mistakes. And that's kind of how we kind of learn everything. But the Affordable Care Act 2 years ago was a brand new thing. We knew nothing about it 2 years ago, and it was kind of a headache. It was a little better last year, except for the government throws in new wrinkles. So hopefully next year will be even better. Hopefully. Well, any questions about that or about anything we did today? No? Wow. Either I taught you very well, or
yesterday on the ACA, you said there were some kiosks going on in stores, and how does that work?
Well, somebody that's brand new, I wouldn't suggest it yet because it's something that we had to purchase stores that we're not actually purchasing. The agents are able to purchase them, and you own those stores during the entire enrollment time. So, like, we had a store. There's a Bilo across the street was one of the stores on the list, and Messer, our FMO for ACA, was offering that up, and it was $250 for the store during that entire time. If you did their training and you did the reporting, they give you $100 back, so it's only $150, and that's for 3 months of doing ACA. and that's your store. Nobody else can be in there. They give you a booth, a kiosk, all kinds of signage, so you can sit there and actually enroll people into that store. We did the stores last year too. Yeah, I think the year before. I think we've done them both years. And they've been very successful. I mean, you will enroll people in the stores. You need to have all the plans and be available with all the plans. Because if somebody walks up to you and wants to know what the plans, you got to be able to offer what you can. You can enroll them right there. You can set up appointments to enroll them later. It is a great way for somebody that does not have a book of business to gain a book of business. It's a good way of doing that. But if you've never done ACA before, that's a tough way to get too, because people are coming to ask questions. You've got to have experience to do that. So it's a little bit of a catch-22. I was encouraging people yesterday that have been doing the business more than 6 months, but have never done ACA before, to go do it now, because now you understand the insurance business a little bit, and you understand kind of what's going to be asked. But it's a good way to get business. It's kind of like our Medicare stores. Our Medicare stores, we've got 4 stores locally and 1 up in the upstate that we are going to be able to. You're going to be able to go to the booth and talk to people about Medicare.
It's spontaneous though, right? I mean, anybody could just walk up, ask about it, right?
That's correct. That's correct. It's got signage on the booths. The ones that we're doing this year are through United Healthcare. The partnership we have with Rodney United Healthcare allowed us to do those booths. So that it's going to be United Healthcare attire and mainly about asking about questions about United Healthcare. But if somebody comes up to the booth and says, hey, I got some questions about Humana, well, great, I can make an appointment with you. I can come out and see you on Thursday. You know, what time's good for you. You can set up appointments. But right here, I'm here sponsored by United Healthcare today, so I'm here to talk about that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, ACA has no regulations and compliance right now at all, so you can talk about all the companies right there. So the
That
ACA,
might be to your benefit to just kind of like have it for booking appointments too.
it can be, yeah. But they get busy. People usually stop by and ask questions when they see what you're about. When they see it's about health insurance. I mean, health insurance, I get people stopping by all kinds. I mean, I get families, I got individuals. I got, oh yeah, I lost my health insurance this year. Can I get health insurance? I got people that are on Medicare that were asking about grandchildren and stuff that were getting health insurance. Hey, I've got a grandchild who's going to college that lives with me now. Hey, can I get health insurance for them? So you get all kinds of people coming and asking, and it's a little bit more relaxed because you're there at the store where they're already shopping. And it's really about placement. Placement in the store really helps.
Do you decide that? Or they set up and then you show
Usually
up?
what we do is depending on who's doing the stores, I usually have one of the managers that's in charge of the store go up and talk to the store manager beforehand. Hey, we're going to be here with the store. Here's what we're doing. We got a printout saying what we're here to do. Where would you like us, or where's a good place that we could be?
Up by the cafe or the deli or something, that way smell the food, feel good.
It's not bad there. Back near the pharmacy is not a bad area for this.
Yeah.
It's not bad because you got people that are coming back that may not have insurance. Oh, you don't have insurance? Well, why don't you go talk to him before you leave? And if you get to know the pharmacist, they can do that. Again, there's almost no regulations on the ACA. There will be next couple of years because CMS does have their hand in there, but right now there's not any regulations on it. Medicare, you can't do that. Medicare, you can't work with the pharmacist. They can't send people to you. You're not allowed to. So again, there's rules that you got to make sure that you abide by. But ACA is a new one that, again, they want to get everybody enrolled they can. That was Obama's goal, is to get everyone enrolled. So they're not going to stop people right now from enrolling. So they want to get the numbers up. So, but I guarantee you, in the next couple of years, kind of like how I told you, the training's about 4 times as long this year as it was last year. It just means eventually the regulations are coming down the line. 2 years from now, it'll probably be the same as Medicare.
So if we wanted to offer a presentation at our church,
Mhm.
do we need to contact?
For what?
For both MA and ACA.
Well, you can't do them together, first of all.
Well, no, but I mean, doing them separately.
Okay. ACA is easy. Again, you want to make sure that you're appointed with the companies. You want to make sure your training's all done so you're allowed to offer it. Once you're beyond that, you're allowed to do
Whatever you want.
essentially whatever you want.
Okay.
The only thing you can't do is you can't work with a navigator. We didn't really get into that kind of stuff, but there are navigators that are actually get paid by grants from the Obamacare, by the federal government, to help navigate people through enrollments. They don't get paid per enrollments. They're not agents. They're literally navigators. Sometimes they'll be at a church or something like that, navigating people through there. You can't work in conjunction with them because you can't profit on getting money from the government too. But Beyond that, that's about the only thing you can't do with ACA. Medicare is a whole different animal. Medicare, you can do one of two things, and if you done your Medicare training yet?
Working on it.
Working on it? One of the things you'll find out in Medicare training, they talk about educational events versus sales events. You can talk about educational events, you can educate clients about the Medicare business. When we talked and we did Medicare at first, and I put up there the extras and the co-payments and things, I didn't talk about any company at all, you can do that educationally. You can talk about Medicare Advantage, you can't name a company. If you want to go in and talk about a specific company, it's got to be a sales event. And you got to register as a sales event. It has to be registered with CMS either way. So like right now, the reason why I had to get all this stuff together for a couple weeks ago, we did a big thing up here of trying to find out who's going to be at what store, because we had to register with CMS. I had to get it out within at least 6 weeks ahead of time within CMS. So we actually had to send it to United Healthcare to CMS. Same thing with these sales meetings that we're setting up with Ronnie that we talked about yesterday. We have to get the dates down because they got to send it to CMS. We're doing these client meetings. They make sure that what you're doing. So you register as an educational event. Somebody from CMS can come and be there and make sure you're doing the right thing. And if they come and they're there and you're naming Humana or Care Improvement, you may get asked that year not to sell Medicare Advantage. And it's a big thing. CMS violations are not good. Department of Insurance and CMS, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing. So if you're doing an educational event, that's great. But what I would do, if I'm going to a church or a group like that, I would register as a sales event. There's almost no reason to not register every event as a sales event. And the reason is because if you give out literature or you hand out business cards, which you can't do at an educational event, if somebody asks you a business card, you can give one. But you can't say, hey, thanks for coming to training today, I appreciate it. You're not allowed to do that with an educational event. Sales event, you can. So if you're going to do one, I would say do it as a sales event.
Or book an appointment too, right?
Yeah, book an appointment. The chances of you getting in trouble during a sales event is much, much, much lower than it is an educational event. Educational events are tough.
A navigator, huh? Never heard that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of little things out there. Once you do your trainings, you'll learn more about these. But this is the first year we're doing client meetings, and we've done the stores and the booths and things like that. They're not too bad. We register all those and we get them all out there, so we make sure that if you do get secret shops, you're compliant. We try to keep you that way. But if you're going to do like a church group or something, you need to make sure that you do it. And I think the church group, the sales events are at least 21 days out. So you got to register at least 21 days out through United Healthcare's portal, and they do it to CMS, or through Humana to CMS. So it's a little bit more complicated than just coming in and talking to your church group. ACA is easy. Right now. I would take advantage of it right now, because again, I think down the line it's going to go away. No, ACA may go away eventually too, but who knows? That's a whole different politic thing that we don't want to get into. But right now, I would suggest it is a good thing to get into, especially while it's here, because you're getting clients, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. But I can tell you, whatever happens in the future, I'll still have clients doing it, because people are still getting health insurance. So they're going to need to go wherever they get sent. So health insurance is a big thing. It also brings in a lot more business, because most people that need Affordable Care Act also need life insurance, also need dental and vision, also need other things. Last year, with Affordable Care Act, we did a lot of annuity business. A lot of people that were retiring early and need to move their money from where they were in their 401k or 403bs into annuities. And again, there's no regulations of cross-selling on ACA. There is on Medicare. So, that's it. Go to lunch.